Happy Devil's Monday. This is The Woo Report. The Woo Report. Episode 342 on this Memorial Day Monday. Monday night, streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. Coming to you live from the Primetime Radio Studios in an undisclosed location in beautiful New Jersey. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. I'm your host, Sam Woo. Doing a little Woo review. We talked about a Woovie review earlier this month as the off-season drags on. Currently, Dallas Stars are losing badly. Game 6 against the Vegas Golden Knights. It appears that it could be Vegas and Florida in the Stanley Cup Finals. So this Memorial Day weekend filled with a lot of, remembrances. Want to thank all those veterans out there as well. And those that made the ultimate sacrifice. But tonight I wanted to talk about this documentary that came out in 2015. Now, as you know, I usually don't watch movies. I usually miss all the documentaries. So I promised Scotty and Beer Baron that I'll start to catch up this summer during the off season. And last night, watched this ESPN documentary. You can get it on ESPN Plus. You can watch it. It's called Of Miracles and Men. And basically, it came out in 2015. I'm surprised I didn't even know about this till Beer Baron texted us the other day saying he watched it and how ninja Lou Lamoriello was. And it was based off of the miracle on ice when the United States beat the Soviets in 1980, the miracle game in the semifinal round in the 1980 Olympics in Lake Placid. But this documentary was really based on the Soviets' point of view of that game, how it changed their lives, and former Devils, Fetisov and Kasatonov, were in this documentary talking about what happened, what led to that 1980s Soviet team. Things that I never even knew. And I don't want to blow the documentary. If you haven't seen it already, I highly recommend. And it gets the 2 thumbs up from me. I don't know what it gets a big woo from me. That I wish ESPN would create more of this stuff, at least on a live, this high quality documentary more often. I mean, there's The King's Ransom, there's The Last Dance, the infamous ones, but this one kind of got lost in here. And they interviewed Fetisov, but what really got me, and again, I don't want to blow the documentary, and this is kind of a shorter Woo report, but what got me was back in those days, in 1980, the geopolitical climate, the Cold War was at its height. It was the Soviets versus the U.S. outside of hockey, mixed in with hockey. And what's interesting about it is the untold stories of what these players had to go through And really, this moment, what that 1980 game up in Lake Placid, what it did for USA Hockey and the NHL as a whole. I mean, it opened up the doors for American hockey players since that game, that infamous game where Mike Eruzione scored the game-winning goal when Tretiak was pulled. It's amazing what it's done for the sport as a whole. And it just so happens that later in the documentary, it involved 3 New Jersey Devils, Kasatonov and Fetisov, and what Lou Lamoriello had to do in the late 80s to get them to play in the NHL, let alone in a New Jersey Devils uniform. Crazy documentary. Highly recommend it. It goes in depth growing up in Russia under communist regime, what players went through, the training style, the Russian brand of hockey. You talk about Russian greats that played on the New Jersey Devils, like Sergei Brylin. You can even talk about Ilya Kovalchuk later in the franchise history. But it was an amazing documentary. And it tells you how lucky we are here in North America. Now, I remember reading somewhere that Sergei Brylin said they were so poor back in those days that they had to reuse their hockey tape. They actually had to reuse their hockey tape. Where nowadays we take hockey tape for granted. They're dime a dozen. So it's pretty interesting about this documentary of Miracles and Men. You can find it on ESPN Plus. Download it. Watch it on your big screen. It's about 90 minutes to 100 minutes long. And Steve Engel, you know what? You're going to get banned. You're going to get banned. I'm tired of it. Here we go. Actually, I'll give you one warning to knock it off in the YouTube Live. I'll give you one warning. I remember talking to Cornhole. He said it was without warning. That wasn't cool. Okay, I'll give you one warning. But the next time you act up in that YouTube Live, I'm talking about something serious here. You know, on Memorial Day weekend. And, you know, when you're watching this documentary, it makes you think how lucky we are that we have this great sport, how it's transformed, how the influx of European players that are on this team. Forget, you know, obviously the Russian players, but think about all the European players that are on the New Jersey Devils roster right now, currently, like Nico Hischier, Palat, Hala, who are impactful. You've got young players like Simon Nemitz, Akira Schmid, so on and so on and so on. Dino says originally Fetisov and start. Yes, you're right, but eventually it was Kasatonov did come over to the New Jersey Devils. I remember the press calling it the Russian duo when they played on the New Jersey Devils as a little kid. Mark says, is the documentary on ESPN on Disney Plus? I'm not sure how all that works. I know I subscribe to ESPN Plus, and it's in the menu somewhere. I highly recommend it. And I got this recommendation from Beer Baron. I got it from Beer Baron. And again, I started doing some, read-ups. So one of these days, we got to get Fetisov. Would be a tremendous honor if we could get Fetisov on this podcast to go a little bit more in depth on that because, back in those days, it was like a big whoa moment. And, a lot's been said about Lou Lamoriello, but he's a trailblazer. I mean, the stunts he used to pull in his first year, of being a GM in the NHL. I mean, you got the whole thing with have another donut, getting restraining orders, whatever, getting a judge to get the coach to coach, Jim Schoenfeld. Watch Red Army and Red Penguins by Gabe Polsky. I'm going to have to, heads up hockey, I will try to watch that. This is the summertime. I got to catch up on all this stuff, what people talk about and all that. But yeah. So that's my Woovie review. I don't know if it's really a movie or a woovie. No, it's a documentary. Kevin says, found it for rent on Amazon Prime. Yeah, you know what? I forgot. That's right. About that Shane Van Sickle. About the 3. It just slipped my mind. Again, I go by things when I remember as a kid. But yes, you're absolutely right. But Fetisov was the big one. I mean, Fetisov was, the best player, defenseman, coming out of the Soviet Union, coming to the NHL. And think about, like, Sergei Fedorov, Alexander McGillney, all these players that came over afterwards. Alexander McGillney wearing the 89 for a reason. And it's amazing how hockey can bring the world together. But at that time, back in 1980, it's amazing how far USA hockey, has come. But yeah, that's my Woo review of Miracles and Men. But you got to watch it without me blowing the documentary, on that. Yeah, it's a slow Devils news day, obviously, on this weekend. The biggest news coming out of New Jersey, that whole Taylor Swift concert, the 3 dates, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, was all the rage. The governor of New Jersey, Governor Murphy, putting out a tweet out there declaring it Taylor Ham Day, Swift Day, or something like that. Because I saw more tweets about that from Devils fans than the actual Devils themselves. Now, Switzerland knocked out the World Championship. IIHF hockey. Just looking right here. But yeah, so Team USA losing. Not good. Not good. Let's see here. Blah, 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 blah. But yeah. So anyway, we'll talk about a little bit about that tomorrow on the morning Woo, World Championships and all that. Let's see here. Yeah, it was a bad performance against her. Yeah, I'm gonna save it for tomorrow. See, I gotta stretch it. If you're gonna do a podcast today, it's going to be it's one of those off seasons. But Stanley Cup Finals looks like it's going to be set very soon. Golden Knights and the Florida Panthers. Yeah. All right, Steve Engel. You asked for it. People are complaining. This is what happens. I gave you a chance. If you're going to start annoying everybody. He's going to be put in timeout. Steve Engel. Sorry, Steve Engel. But you can't be doing that. Because if I don't enforce it, then it's just going to be, the chat is not going to be really a chat. I just want to say hello to Ramona Rice right now, JP, Mark, Kevin, Ted. How are you? Getting back. Yeah, getting back to normal. Sorry about that stuff in the YouTube live chat. But if you haven't subscribed yet, go to our YouTube channel at Let's Go Devils, on Twitter at Let's Go Devils Pod, and on Facebook at Let's Go Devils Podcast. But we're back. We're back. And yes, Morning Woo tomorrow, Shane Vinsickle. Yes. Going to figure out coverage plans for next month. Also, NHL draft. I'm going to try to confirm where we're going to be. Evening Woo. Yeah. Well, you know, it's kind of like the Woo Report back in action again. And Mark's like, why are no contracts signed? Everyone's on vacation. They'll be back tomorrow. But, yeah. All right. I want to thank all those tuning in to the late Woo Report. Morning Woo tomorrow morning. Sometime early in the morning. And we'll talk some more puck. Absolutely. That's right. We're back. Also, State of the Fan address is back this Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Also, time change for Hockey on Tap, our sister podcast. I think they're going to be going on Thursday as well. If you're getting your Devils fix, hi Kevin, how are you? Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and also our podcast pages, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Rate, review, and subscribe. Please do that as well. Well, this is the Woo Report. Till next time, let's go Devils.